the Ku Klux Klan on a black man's conscience, like them state patrols, the night watches, DK modern police departments, heartless beasts and sheets, they burn crosses. That's by night they like to wear badges, and it's been this way from day one. And them catch that slave when he run, lynch him, shoot him dead with their gun, like they hunt and slaughter for fun. Like man, woman, daughter, and son. Why should we think that a bitch precinct has been infiltrated by a group of racists? Went off that show that they've been at ever since they nation on the slave plantation, taking everything back. In fact, one drop is the rule and every time moves back. That was enough to string a black man up, pull him over and justify homicide us. My city feared for their life in the system, give a paid leave, you know that's a vacation. Chief of police telling us to be patient while they conduct their own investigation. Oh, now they need sensitivity training, but the pig didn't need it when the white boy shooting in the movies, just dropping motherfuckers like flies, cop guys, the white guy still taking alive. Oh, heaven I swear, oh God, just to show us how a black man gotta stay alive any way you can. We living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan. Oh, heaven I swear, oh God, just to show us how a black man gotta stay alive any way you can. When you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan, when you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan, living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan.
Blue Klux Klan could have never let a black man them say to their true citizen, none of our baby are white man. Without that status, them never treat you like no human. For pistol, the analytics down, and let you in and them know now. Financial strain and burden go further than the poor man. With that poor man is the true guardian and 50 million. White supremacy, the brainstorming of the caveman. Homework in conjunction of fallen angels, so hard the man. Capitalists who believe in revolution, call we hate man. The same one to local youth, Santa Claus a real man. Them imagine of the dude of your little the black man. They crack their hunger in our home, that's the original plan. We must know that we are the throne, that's our foundation. Them plan not come in fruition, no manifestation. You know I said nothing never happen like that, you know the ancestor of we call the ancestor, the one with the grateful, so Blue Klux Klan must have found
God, just to show us how a black man gotta stay alive any way you can. When you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan, when you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan, living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan.
Militaristic, militaristic, militaristic. We live in a police state. Fashion is horrific. The prison population rate is militaristic. Welcome to the land of the sea. This is a mention day. And some say America's great. How can you defend it? And no reparations made to the ones you offended. A social media displays of modern lynching. It's called the killer make the God give us about your attention. A super predatory law that's in every Clinton. If at all you're about, you have to pay attention. Even though they don't belong to the black descendants. Cause you the killing, I've been killing blacks at the Clintons. First through the prison pipeline, 13th Amendment. Was up to this was designed because of white resentment. And now it's time to align with something that was a trick. A black class matter only with a real black commitment.
Heaven I swear, oh God, just to show us how a black man gotta stay alive any way you can. When you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan. Oh, heaven I swear, oh God, just to show us how a black man gotta stay alive any way you can. When you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan. When you're living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan. Living in the land of the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. This evening, I'm going to go over a body of work of Wise Intelligent. This album, The Blue Klux Klan, is one of the most important recordings of this time, dealing with the climate in America concerning policing and dealing with how the police mistreat our people. Now, this album by Wise Intelligent, the front man of Poor Righteous Teachers, excuse me, the homeboy that's from about 25 miles from where I live at, I'm in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and the homies in Trenton, New Jersey. Both Central Jersey residents. But Wise Intelligent has always stood and acted on behalf of our people. He's not only an MC, he's an activist. He's an advocate for our people. And this body of work is very important. I'm going to go over this body of work, and I'm going to show some video clips to confirm, verify, and put a stamp on everything he's talking about on this album. This album really resonates with me. Again, this is one of the most important albums to come out in a long time. At this time, right now, it's one of them. It is the most important album to come out concerning, what's going on with our people. The wordplay, the cadence, the beats, the lyrics. It's just crazy how talented this brother is. Now, the first selection I'm going to play is One Good Cop. And hopefully some people will be in here by now and we can chop it up. One Good Cop. And I want to challenge anybody to show me one good cop. It's crazy,
Body cams, whole fucking hood of eyewitness. Prosecutor give it to a grand jury, let a room full of crackers try to justify murder. Judge tells me, see me so. Black leaders try to tell me that the reason I'm a victim is my clothes too baggy, my pants keep sagging. How the fuck you niggas lead us when your niggas all scared?
Now, I'm gonna stop it right there. You say black leaders tell him that his clothes are too baggy and his clothes are too saggy. That's why our young people are murdered on the streets of America, because our clothes are too baggy and our pants are too saggy. Now, I don't advocate brothers sagging their pants. Now, it went from showing a little bit of your underwear to brother wearing their underwear all the way under their behind, and I don't advocate that, but that's still no reason why we should make an excuse for being cowards when our children are murdered by our enemy. Now, black leaders say our pants is too baggy and our clothes too baggy and our pants are too saggy. Now, I want to show you a picture of a man whose clothes are not baggy and pants are not too saggy, and look what they did to him. Now, this man is wearing a suit. His clothes are not too baggy. Pants are not too saggy. But he was still lynched. Still lynched. So there's no excuse for being a coward when our children are being murdered. No excuse. I don't accept no excuse because I don't make any.
Shirt suits, perfume, slick hair. Words too fake to compare. No nuts, no spine, I swear. When the city on fire, ain't none of y'all there. Smart niggas on an idiot box trying to argue with the cop like the pig really care. See it in me, certainly not, nigga. We are men, fucking run up on the cop with a fully automatic rat-a-tat-tat-a-tat. Open up the paddy wagon, save Freddie Grace, and I'm home to his mama.
Pardon me.
Mama tell her, have a nice day. When you fear for your life, it ain't a right or wrong way. Nigga, shit, that's what the police say. That's right. When they kill a kid around my way, 16 round spray on a cold brown lay. 17 years young, somebody black son. Dumb. They're afraid of the dog, they murdering the son. Then they come with the cover up. They don't even cover up the young boy body while his warm blood run like an animal or something. We can see a soul even looking back at the slum. There's a lot of good cops. Show me. Show me. When a bad cop stop and he pull his firearm and 16 shots in the body of Laquan, where the good cops at? Wouldn't they stop that, pull a bad cop back, and arrest that cracker? They ain't doing none of that. Where the evidence at? Delete tape from the Burger King, cover up the murder scene. 8 or 9 cops, not a good one with him. Drugs and guns being planted on the victim. And if he don't die, then they ship him off to prison. It's a whole fucking system, not a lone road cop. You be running to defend him till your child gets shot. These bars real cold, even though my shit hot. Just look at when a cop gets shot. All of a sudden, he's a motherfucking top cop. Last week, he was beating up a lady on the interstate in Cali, and he knew that she was homeless. But a good cop's watched and condoned it. Try to tell me that it's one cop only. Look, devil, I was raised in the ghetto with a pigs plant metal, so a nigga know better than your ass since when. They've been doing this forever to oppress black men, women, children, or whoever. Got one drop from an African pop or a royal bloodline from his African mom. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me.
Why is it being released from jail right now? Because you know what? If it was me or any of these people back here that shot and killed somebody, we would be in jail right now. We would be under the jail while our investigation is going on. But he gets to go home and he gets to be with his kids and his wife and watch his little TV shows, gets to eat good meals. Where's the chief at? Y'all two chiefs? Why aren't they over there arresting them right now? You know why? Because there's no good cops.
I don't care where you search, where you look, there are no good cops. If there was good cops would not stand around and watch bad cops disrespect and abuse citizens that they swore to protect. Now, I'm going to give examples of bad cops as I go along with this program. Now, again, Wise Intelligence said some of our leaders and city leaders, whether they're grassroots or they're incorporated with the city, make excuses for why our young people are murdered and people my age are murdered, especially young people. Though they say our pants are too saggy and our clothes are too baggy. Now, this is an example of a contradiction right here. This man's pants are not too baggy. This man's pants are not saggy. He was still lynched. He was in a suit. So saying that because brothers are wearing sweat hoods or they're wearing gold teeth or they're wearing anything is no excuse to make when our young people or our people are murdered or abused. Now, this is an example of, bad cops right here.
¿Pero qué hizo?
Mira. No. Hey. Grábalos bien, grábalo.
¿Ya vieron?
Ya lo están grabando. Mira, ese que pegó, mira.
Some of these self-righteous hypocrites will respond to a domestic violence call and be self-righteous in saying that a man should hit a woman, and he shouldn't. But why is he hitting a woman? Why is this man hitting a woman? If no one should hit a woman, neither should someone who swore to protect a woman. Now, it's another song on this album that really resonates. Now, this album, Klux Klan, is a good body of work. The best body of work I've seen in a long time, as far as, talking about what's going on with our people. Now, we could be prosperous, we could be successful, we could work our tails off to obtain what we rightfully earned. But yet, when we are encountered by the Klux Klan, we're just another nigga.
All this money that I got, just another nigga. Wake up, just another nigga. I could be your president. Just another nigga. Wake up, president. Just another nigga. Guess God ain't forgiving us niggas. All the past that he giving these crackers. Red line to the prison pipeline. Fuck a nigga whole mind. Rape rap, where they at it? Crack house in the semi-automatics. Track down shouldn't matter how you at it. When you do the mathematics, cook it back and hook an addict. One nigga go to jail and the other have a habit. D-side, you can ask how they know. White lines to the president's porch. A lot of niggas ain't had no choice. Hip-hop was the black man's voice. Medicine blood suckers of the poor gun. Try to make sure it ain't that no more. But they can't watch intelligent ain't. Just another nigga. Bang on the state till a bitch can't make. Now another nigga. Hot times when you're living in the city. Outshines ain't many, but you got a lot of guns. Crack readily available, adapt to the trap like rats, cause you gotta get ones. Guess that's why they call it shit cheddar. Yep, that's why they call it shit cheese. The projects, these terminologies social engineers use when experimenting. Everything ain't everything. When you can't really see the big picture, when yourself get cropped and the top not yours, and they use Photoshop try to fill that void. Cops catch artists go figure. Now I'm just some other nigga. All this money that I got, just another nigga. Wake up, just another nigga. I could be your president. Just another nigga. Wake up, president. Just another nigga. White girl in the restroom is. They thinking we were trying to get it in. I was trying to sell her something she can share with her friends. Fall asleep behind the wheel, turn over the bins. See, I'm more a lot of folks like menopause. I ain't them mama niggas. Esau been trying to get rid of y'all. Stay coming for my niggas. They look enemies ain't jokes when they passed out new seed. They lost souls. So true, going 2+2. When I let a cracker have it, they make COs. Leaking all over your body. Reaping what his dark past brought in. Same God that reduced to a nigga with his finger on the trigger like Chris Kyle taught him. Ghetto, bastard, naughty. Trigger touch your wrist with the KG. Bread, toast, veg loaf. Motherfucker better back up off me. Stop pulling on my shirt, that's patchwork. Fuck Dolce & Gabbana, this Ghana. Sometimes my flirt, but I ask first. If I holler at I got us, I got it. I ain't gotta lie about it, I'm belligerent. That's what the F it is. Actual and negatives. Added explicit is shit. What a gift it is. Mixed with a spit it did. God just different. Plant seeds with the melanin in it. Just living, I be killing them with it. Concerned, so they studied and learned. Get too close, be leave black sunburn. All this money that I got, just another nigga. Wake up, another nigga. I could be your president. Just another nigga. Wake up, president. Just another nigga. Mama used to say, take your time, young man. Mama used to say, don't you rush to get old. Mama used to say, take it in your stride. Mama used to say, if I catch what you running from another nigga? Wish you would have said running from a pig. You know, considering the shit that they did, we should all be shooting at the cops or the hoop, and that's the motherfucking truth, then it is what it is. Black skin and we live where we live. Backspin on our box, little kids. Back when we were trying to make the best out of being oppressed, even though the game rigged. White lies, nigga, rise my opinions. Lynch mobs gotta fight up with the fear. Whitewash from the history of being. But black guys civilized Europeans. Please don't say shit about the music. When I do it, I can lose it on a technically stupid. Racist, trying to say my shit racist to the face. I gotta hate it, can't fix what the blues is. Not new to this, bitch, I'm true to this. I'm a pro-black nigga and I'm doing this. True to the struggle, I can go through trouble waters for the sons and the daughters. Crackers roll across the water. To the matrix, on a slave shit, all the good shit. Jesus, he's just not some other nigga. All this money that I got, just another nigga. Wake up, another nigga. I could be your president. Just another nigga. Wake up, president. Just another nigga. All this money that I got, just another nigga. Wake up, another nigga. I could be your president. Just another nigga. Wake up, president. Just another nigga.
Now, Wise Intelligent took some of the real incidents that happened in this nation and he put it to song. He's been good at that since the duration of his career. He the front man of Poor Righteous Teachers. So everybody know him from Poor Righteous Teachers. So he did quite a few solo acts, or solo albums rather, and I don't think, as a lyricist, he's really untouchable, but I don't think he knows how to spit other than giving us something that we can apply to our everyday life. I think that's just how he do things. If you can't apply it to your everyday life, I don't think Wise, I'm not going to say he's incapable. I just think he don't want to do it like that. He always wants to give us something that we're going to apply to our everyday lives. Now, again, I'm going to go back and forth to clips and to the music because I'm basing things on what the brother is saying as far as the climate in America, and especially the police. Now, the police, they even mistreat their own. They won't even. It was, I don't know which video it is, but I'm going to find it. It's a video where a police sergeant, he assaulted a female officer for basically getting him out of trouble because they was arresting a brother. The brother was mouthing off. He got a right to say what he wanted to say, but the sergeant was about to mace him, and the female officer pulled him back, and he grabbed her by her throat. He choked her.
Do what you gotta do. On my wrist, I can't move. Let go. So what? Get in the car. All right, get in the car.
No, he doesn't want in the car.
Get in the car.
Get in the car.
All right, I'm getting in.
Get your feet in.
What's up?
Hey, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You want to play games? You're playing with the wrong mother.
What you gotta do, man? You gonna mace me, mace me.
Look at me, mother. You want to play games? You ever get disrespectful with my officers? I will remove your soul from your body.
Do it, man. Do what you gotta do.
Don't ever touch me again.
Sir.
Get the off.
Sir. Just let it be.
We clear?
Yes, sir.
And I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Can you stop pulling the handcuffs from my wrist?
Holding on for such a long time.
Acting like I'm running somewhere. I'm right here.
Liz, can you stop pulling the handcuffs on my wrist? God, you don't listen. You're not stronger than me, man. I'm letting you know that.
All right, let's go. We're gonna take a seat.
Watch your head getting into the car.
Miss, can you stop pulling the cup?
Just get in the car and you'll be fine.
Get in the car. Get in the car. Put in the cup on my wrist. Once you get in the car, she'll let go. So watch you said it's pulling.
So just get in the car.
She's gonna break my wrist.
All right, just get in the car.
Can y'all just tell her to stop?
Okay, get in the car. That's
Get
it.
in the car.
Just get in the car.
All right, I'm getting in.
Get your feet in. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You want to play games? You're playing with the wrong motherfucker. You gonna mace me? Mace me. Look at me. You want to play games? You never get disrespectful with my officer. I will remove your soul from your fucking body.
Do what you gotta do.
No.
Get the fuck off.
Just let it be.
I don't understand that.
We clear?
Yes, sir.
That piece.
And I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Now, there's a law that was passed that officers are obligated to intervene when they see another police officer acting unbecoming of an officer. But when this female officer did it, her supervisor, her sergeant, choked her. So they don't even have respect for each other. Police are supposed to be peace officers, and they are some of the most violent people in this society. Now, the police, they're the largest gang in America. They have, it's like a second army next to the United States Army and all the armed forces. They have police forces like LA, New York, Chicago, tens of thousands of people on that force. And they are nothing but tyrants. Now, I'm going to play another song that resonates with me, dealing with the Klux Klan. Again, I'm talking about the body of work of Wise Intelligent, the Klux Klan. Excuse the commercials.
Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? The police, the police. Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? See these crackers occupy my ghetto like a slave plantation, mass incarceration. These crackers sleep catches and they hop behind your badges, stopping friskers and harassers, steady fucking with a nigga like me. Baba Kwame Ture taught me, if a cracker wanna lynch me, that's his problem. But if this cracker got the power to lynch me, well then see, the motherfucking problem's mine. Before I walk out on the front line, every time another motherfucking one time, kill another motherfucker and get no time. I decline cause I ain't good at getting hit with rubber bullets. I may fuck your peaceful protest up. The only way they gonna respect us when we organize militias and verify your positions and let them know we don't need them, and we'll do our own police and touch one of us, you will get touched. Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? The police, the police. Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? They call it an eye for an eye, but I call it a life for a life. A daughter, a son for a son. One wife for a wife. You know I'm full of peace and love. Let's get it straight, I never propagate hate. But it's our obligation as the children of enslavement not to ever let this shit happen again. I ain't counting on the laws to protect my right as a human fucking being to preserve my life. Nigga, self-preservation is the first law of nature, and the second, keep a weapon for whoever try to take it. If you hear me, nigga, lick one shot. If you ain't having any shit, lick two. If you rolling deep as fuck, like what? Double up, give a 21 gun salute.
Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? The police, the police. Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police?
This little piggy was a pussy in high school. This little piggy daddy run a hate group. This little piggy cheerleader girlfriend. Fuck the star running back, now he hate black dudes. We gotta take control of the school systems when it's 98% black students in them. Black curriculums with Afrocentricism in them. To redeem the self-esteem and killing niggerisms. We can't afford to follow boards of education cause they full of black faces making European decisions for the African descendants of a Holocaust. Of my uncle still in progress, that's a lot of loss. A lot of pain they created and they profit off. Cocaine on a plane and they drop it off. You know the game's gon' bang and sell it off. Mass incarceration when they can't kill us off. Kill us through the prison pipeline, turn it off.
About the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? The police, the police. Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the police? The police, the police. Who gives a fuck about the police?
Who gives a fuck about the police? Now, the police, their original job was slave patrol. And what the police are, they're not law enforcement, they're policy enforcers. They enforce policy. They have no respect for our people. They murder our people, they abuse our people, they mistreat our women, they beat our women on the streets. Now, this video here is the video. If it didn't make us want to actually go to war, I don't know if this is one that, yeah.
This man is assaulting her.
What's wrong with you, motherfucker?
He assaulted her. I'm recording
The
it right
fuck
now.
is wrong with you? What?
Yeah.
What?
That should happen every time somebody put their hands on our woman. That should happen every single time. We do not allow someone to put their hands on our women, and when they do, they should royally pay. That was the wrong video, but that video resonates with me. And every time somebody call themselves doing something to one of our women, that should be the results of it. Now, in order for us to affect change, we can't be afraid. Too many of us are afraid to shed blood and to be hurt ourselves. Somebody has to do it. We can't play when it comes to our families. We have to protect our families at all costs against anybody who come against our families, even if it's the Klux Klan. Now, it was a story of some teenagers listening to music at a convenience store. Some white supremacist pulled up with his girlfriend, and he didn't like the music. He asked them to turn it down. They turned it down, and then the young brother started. Who is he to tell us to turn our music down? For one, we were sitting here first. They turned their music back up, and the Caucasian ended up murdering one of the young brothers. He recently got life in prison for doing it, but My sentiment is, if somebody killed your son who carried on your lifeline, your son, like a Trayvon Martin, this man only had one son, and George Zimmerman killed his one son, and he's walking around bragging about it. My sentiment is, this is just my sentiment, you got a right to kill him or his son for killing your son, because that young man was walking through a community. The police told this dude to leave him alone, and he pursued the young man anyway. Even if the young man was putting hands on him, whipping his ass, he caused that. You can't cause the problem, then say you're standing your ground. See, I don't understand Florida. I don't understand Florida for the brothers and sisters in Florida for allowing that to happen and then didn't raise no hell. But you put your hand on my son. As a matter of fact, you better not even cut his hair wrong. It's going to be a problem. You better be sharp with the razor and with the clippers. You better not even mess my son's hair off. It's going to be a problem. And we need to understand that our children is who carry our name and keep our lifeline going. And when somebody interrupts that, they're interrupting your whole family tree. And it's about us taking care of each other and our children. There's this other selection that by Wise Intelligent on the Blue Klux Klan albums called Get Money, Teach Kids. After the damn commercial.
I'm from the city where the shit ain't pretty, so the dust kicks up sometimes. Where the babies are the greatest, but a lot of self-haters are your neighbors. Be fine. Get money, teach kids how to live, but it is what it is, and it's do some try. Get money, teach kids how to stay positive, but the pigs make it hard sometimes. I hear the sirens, mama cry, my peers are all dying, man. I swear to God, I gotta get this shit out of my head. Heavy metals in the water, our sons and our daughters trying to move them forward, but they already mentally dead. Already trapped singing, I be in the trap, black queen, the track queen from topmost to crack king. If what seems odd against these odds, I have seen black guys prostitute the earth and eat their babies. A lot of times writing rhymes stop me from going crazy. Firearms in my palm, I'm contemplating daily. So I don't rap for free, fuck that, nigga pay me. Cause there's a baby somewhere waiting, thinking I can save him. So that deposit conscious of my rider, I'ma need it. See starving, I'm a farmer, help me plan feed him. Lead, follow, or get the fuck out of my way. Devil say hi to my cage, stop trying to fuck up my day. Da 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 day, da 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 day. Listen, I'm a Kalashnikov just spray. I'm from the city where the shit ain't pretty, so the dust kicks up sometimes. Where the babies are the greatest, but a lot of self-haters are your neighbors, so they'll be fine. Get money, teach kids how to live, but it is what it is, and it's no some try. Get money, teach kids how to stay positive, but the pigs make it hard sometimes. This deprivation, concentration of poverty, making ghetto youth pedal shoot, don't avoid crime. It doesn't matter that the Central Intelligence agents waited, inundated every hood just like mine. Then they decided to get tough on crime, build 1 million private prisons, giving black folk hella time. Creating jobs for Wall Street occupiers, police militarized, getting hella overtime, and it's all under the guise of a cleverly contrived drug war disguised as a war on black lives. They get over policing, convict leasing, racial profiling, hate groups full of policemen. Nazi tattoos, burning crosses on the weekend. Punch the clock like on the block, trying to punch a nigga teeth in. Lead, follow, or get the fuck out of my way. Devil say hi to my case, stop trying to fuck up my day. Da 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 day, da 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 day. Listen, I'm a Kalashnikov, just spray. Da 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 day, da 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 day. I'm from the city where the shit ain't pretty, so the dust kicks up sometimes. Where the babies are the greatest, but a lot of self-haters are your neighbors, so they'll be fine. Get money, teach kids how to live, but it is what it is, and it's no some try. Get money, teach kids how to stay positive, but the pigs make it hard sometimes. I'm from the city where the shit ain't pretty, so the dust kicks up sometimes.
babies are greatest, but a lot of stuff haters and things why? Get money and teach kids how to live, but it is what it is. Heaven knows I'm trying. Get money, teach kids, trying to stay positive, but the pigs make it awesome time.
They make it hard sometimes for us to get money and teach our children. They make it hard sometimes. The police will bash one of our skulls in, they'll shoot and murder us, and then they'll say they were afraid for their lives. They will beat one of us to a pulp out of fear because the courts buy this and the courts give them qualified immunity. Malicious acts do not come from fear. Malicious acts come from hate, not fear. And they'll say they fear for their lives. Officer safety is cowardice. Public safety is heroism. And they're always talking about how afraid they are. They're the one with all the weapons on their belt, and they're scared of an unarmed man or a woman or even a child. They love exercising their perceived power. It's not even a real power. It's a perceived power that they want to have over people. And then they ask us, why don't you just comply? Why would we comply with an unlawful order? And then we have those who think they have risen above the condition of their people, trying to tell us that we're not behaving correctly when we're not supposed to be behaving altogether. They want us to behave like we're children. Then you'll have someone half your age trying to tell you about life and trying to give you an unlawful command. And this is my brother's song right here. This is the anthem. And I say, all rise.
Fuck Steve Harvey, fuck Paula D, fuck Charles Barkley, fuck the mainstream. How the fuck you saying sorry to the white bitch team, but the great and don't apologize to these black queens? Fuck Iggy Azalea, fuck rap magazines, fuck white folk money, fuck Jimmy I.G. Niggas got diabetes, fuck King, fuck Queen, fuck the edited version, fuck keeping shit clean. Fuck Dana Wilson and fuck how that sound. That fuck didn't give a fuck about Mike Brown. Fuck grand juries, fuck sundown town, fuck feeling sympathetic when a cop shot down. Fuck concentrated poverty, apartheid sports, fuck CNN, fuck corporate news. Fuck diamond and fuck cracker ass country fire pleasing white people. Fuck elephants in the room. Giuliani, Bill O'Reilly, Fox News, Truth Pataki, Chris Christie, Sarah Palin, Michelle Bradley, Rush Limbaugh.
With the birds in the
Fuck trying to be the first black anything here. Fuck nigga, fuck men, fuck you and your queer peers. Fuck a tea party full of salty ass crackers. Fuck anything spoken from a dumbed down rapper. Fuck niggas who think money make a dumb nigga snort. Fuck crackers who pay to let the back with assholes talk. Fuck open for being scared of what whites might think. And shit open a school here to teach young black queens. Fuck police and fuck Drake for giving $35 million to a school full of overfed rich white children. Fuck integration and fuck the leading blacks. Fuck capitulation, sincerely fuck that. Fuck Eminem, fuck culture appropriators. Fuck Macklemore, fuck children of slave traders. Fuck Democrats and fuck Republicans. Fuck America and the Republic for which it stands. Jefferson, Abe Lincoln, Richard Nixon, Lyndon Johnson, Ronald Reagan, Bill Bush, Barack Obama. Fuck niggas who try to blame Mike Brown for his own death. Fuck cops who takes kids in the face for petty theft. Fuck the guy that shot Ayanna Jones and she slept. Fuck cops who murder blacks who with whites they make arrests. Fuck Reagan and the prison industrial complex. Fuck a war on drugs and fuck being oppressed. Fuck the ICC and the IMF. Fuck your cut type of C. Fuck your codified that. Find every single one of you haters of black flesh. Fuck Europe, fuck England, fuck the entire West. Fuck devils on the right, fuck devils on the left. Wait for me to give a fuck, don't hold your fucking breath. Fuck fearing the police, fuck changing the way I dress. If Black Lives Matter, fuck a peaceful protest. Fuck nobody can, fuck sensitivity training. Fuck marching and complaining, the prices who ain't changing. Viacom, BET, MTV, Universal, Warner Brothers, Interscope, Sony Music.
That is my exact sentiment about the police in this entire nation. Now, this is profound truth through the mouth of a 13-year-old little girl speaking to the police.
I'm going to say it again. I'm 13 years old. All of you are adults. Adults, right? You can drive, you can drink, you can vote. I don't have that. When I asked my mom if I could be dropped off here, her response was, "Is it safe? Is it safe?" You know, we had someone come up here and talk, and don't teach our children to disobey those who are protecting us. I don't see them protecting me. If you want to talk about those protecting me, I look to those who are standing right now because my trust isn't in them. I don't trust any of you. I don't trust any of the police officers because you have shown time and time again that we cannot trust you. I go to City High Middle School, just voted the top high school in the state. You know what they teach us? Teach us to speak up for yourself. We're IB learners, right? We're smart. None of you are smart. None of you can recognize murderers. You can identify that there is a problem, but you cannot fix it. I don't know much about the law. Again, I'm young, but I'm pretty sure an accomplice to a murder should be arrested. And right now, all of you sitting and doing nothing are accomplices to a murder.
You could, please refrain from the additional commentary. If you could let her finish.
I am frustrated, and frustrated can't even begin how absolutely terrified I am to live here. I'm expected to raise my kids here. I'm expected to go outside and walk my 5-year-old little brother. God forbid we look too scary. God forbid he accidentally is wearing his hood and we get the police called on us because we are window shopping to go steal later.
Peace to Big Dog Philly OG. How you doing, my brother?
With Grand Rising, my brother. Much love and respect to you and the family. Much love and respect to everybody in the chat. Now, I've been listening there. Do your thing, brother.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for joining me, brother.
My pleasure, my brother. My pleasure. Go ahead.
Now, that's profound truth through the mouth of a baby. Profound truth. And she brought it to them. She called them murderers to their face. And the next selection I'm going to play is called Police Can Do.
Yes, my mom. No, I'm not making it worse now. I'm scared for my life. Because he just pulled a gun on us and we don't have a gun. And now they asking me to open my door so I can get out. I'm scared. If you can pull out a gun in front of it's 2 kids in the back seat.
You understand?
Yes.
All right.
No, don't mess now they're about to mess no!
Are you gonna open the door?
Whether you say somebody's not gonna hurt you, people are getting shot by the police.
I know a spot girl, she is a mumpy. She live on Queensbridge, no, New York City. Oh, she says she traffic hammers, Miami to Atlanta. Originally from Savannah, she spoke country grammar. I met her in the club, bubble into rubber dub. Lost a Billy, cover up them 36 double D's. We exchange words, number she blaze herb. My fitted rep the next, cause I rep dirty jers. She said, hello, I'm Jenny, peace, I'm skinny, love, what's up? That's easy to remember, your bartender above these cups. Israelite Data, living the patois. Sister, I often to your jet locks, Rasta. I said that's not important, and got right back to courting. I'm more concerned about these hammers, you say you important. I need 100 guns, 200 clips, and could you bring them to New York? New York, from Red Brick to God's Avenue. Since it's Timothy Thomas and the Aloe Amadou. Intelligent will tell you what police can do. Falsely accused, Mr. Mumia Abu. Police, man, I do something in the black and blue. And be salute them to them black and blue. Profile of MC and all of it are crew. So listen this here, what Taylor me I go do. Was the next girl, she was a Puerto Rican. She didn't look it, but I knew it cause how she was speaking. She was sugar spice, ma was everything nice. It was she cook a mean plate of Goya beans and rice. She was for Trent finest piece, your highness miss what's good. My white tee and sneakers had her thinking he's too hood. I had to show and prove that there's much more to skinny. Plus I'm a million times more talented than Mr. Ripley. Oh yeah, her name was Vicky, she put hickeys on my neck. She could just tell your cruiser all we do is sex, sex, sex. She was a freaky, dicky, Puerto Rican good girl, and her favorite position was a vicious 3-point stand. She used to kiss me and say she loved me. The girl I said she placed no one above me. I couldn't say I love her, you know, put her soul at ease until she said she make me copies of them precinct keys. From Red Brick to God's Avenue, since he Timothy Thomas and the Aloe Amadou. Intelligent will tell you what police can do. Falsely accused, Mr. Mumia Abu. Police, man, I do something in the black and blue. And be salute them to them black and blue. Profile of MC and all of it are crew. So listen this here, what Taylor me I go do. I met a white girl, she was a size 3 and wanted nothing that offered to ride beside me. I'm talking Tims and Diesel, younger feastal hip hop chick. Thought that he's for she's thinking she's gonna be my chick. She wanted to be hood, I scooped her when I could. Cause when I asked her would she die for me, she said she would. I gave her all the plans, put the hammers in her hands, taught her how to clap them in, close it till she understands. I bought her a nice dress.
Peace to Brother Key Norfolk. Just want to do a quick roll call and say peace formally to all the family that joined me this evening. Starting from the top.
Salute, my brother.
How you doing, Brother Key Norfolk?
Hey, peace and power, my brother. Salutes to you and the family. I'm doing pretty well. Salutes to the OG Philly.
Peace and power. I want to say peace to Bronze Flat Power God. Peace to Ripple Man. Police to Delaney Black. Peace to Goddess Energy. Peace to the Bomb Mom. Peace to all. And peace to the brother Kenneth Powell and Jared Jaguar. Thank you for joining me this evening. I appreciate it. I'm just going over the body of work of Wise Intelligent, the former frontman for Poor Righteous Teachers. This album, Klux Klan, is a very important album. The most important album of this time because it deals with the climate of policing and deals with policing in America and how our people are mistreated and how police do things in the wilderness of North America. Just understand that when you leave your home, you are walking out into the wilderness. And also, sometimes they can bring that wilderness into your home because now they're shooting into our windows, and they're also coming into our homes and disrespecting us. They're beating us and they're murdering us in our homes. So we have to be aware of these things, and we have to be willing to do something about these things and not just sit idly by and allow people to disrespect us. And above all, we shouldn't be allowing people to murder our families. Now, Tatiana Jefferson was watching her nephew at her home. A concerned neighbor called for a welfare check. Instead of them coming and knocking on the front door and see what was going on at the home, they all in the sister's yard prowling. The police were being prowlers, and that state is a open carry state. So of course, you see people all in your yard, you're gonna pull your pistol out and you're gonna go to the window and see who the hell's in your backyard. And the police officer shot through the window, killing the sister right in front of her nephew. He was charged, but we have to, the fear, in all actuality, I'm a man. I'm going to speak like one. I'm going to behave like one. The fear they say they have, they need to have it. Because they're killing us. They're saying they're scared for their life. And all of us are seeing people murdered and buried. And unless they have funerals the same day our loved ones are having funerals, they're going to keep doing it. But they're not as willing to die as they are to kill because they're cowards.
And let me say this, my brother, because I'm a vet. I'm a war vet. You know, basically, we are held accountable for people that we kill in the military. You know, they have more accountability in the people that they kill in combat, like that, than these cops. You know, these cops can kill at will and get away with it. In the military, you know, even during war, there's a code of conduct during war.
Indeed.
But these people is doing, they're basically doing no code of conduct. They're just killing who they want to kill. And that's all I want to bring up, brother.
And I appreciate that, and that's the absolute truth. They go out and they murder with impunity. They just murder, and the courts back them, and they tell us, why didn't we comply with an unlawful order? And they ask us all the time, why you're being so uncooperative? Why are you being so hostile? Because for one, you are impeding my movement. I'm busy and you're impeding my movement, and you wonder why I'm upset. That's the thing they do. They get you upset and then they ask you why you're so angry. And some of them, go ahead, brother.
Now, I just want to say, is there any possible way you can go up and bring up the history, the start when the police was started?
When the history when the police was started?
Yes, sir.
I'll try.
Real quick. Yeah, real quick, and let's see what that says.
Because I'm absolutely certain that it was something nefarious.
Exactly. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my brother Keith, man. And we're going to do a part 2 to this on my stream later on this week.
Indeed. Look forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to do a part 2 to this.
Yes, sir. Salutes, OG. Salutes to the chat.
It says, early modern, the first centrally organized and uniformed police force was created by the government of King Louis in 1667 to police the police. That's not even American history. I want to go back to when Wells Fargo was Wells Fargo, the bank. They were actually slave patrol. They were actually kidnapping people that were just minding their business, just kidnapping us.
Yeah.
Making
us prisoners at war. Yeah, I would the history of it here in America. Yeah, they was making us prisoners of war, just kidnapping us. I know what you're saying, my brother.
Now, the 1838, I think the first, I don't know, it said the history of police in the United States. The development of police in the United States closely followed in the development of policing in England. In the early colonies, policing took two forms. It was both informal and communal, which is referred to as the watch, or private for-profit policing, which is called the big stick. The watch system was composed of community volunteers whose primary duty was to warn an impending danger. Boston created a night watch in 1636, New York in 1658, and Philadelphia in 1700. The night watch was not a particularly effective crime control device. Watchmen often slept and drank on duty.
Hey, brother, dig this. So from what that sound, basically every state or every city basically created their own police department to police the
Yes.
area. So it wasn't just one police force throughout the whole nation.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
the old deputized the drunk with a gun. They'll deputize him to go get somebody. And then oftentimes when we get arrested for some false accusation, a mob will come take us out of the police headquarters to murder us, like they did with Emmett Till. They will come and they'll take us from the police headquarters and they'll murder us. And the police will allow them to take one of us out of the police station to go murder us. But this is the history of law enforcement. It's really not law enforcement. It's tyranny. And it was really domestic terrorism when it came to us. And that's what it still is, domestic terrorism. They don't want us to teach critical race theory because critical race theory is critical on them. And at the same time, it's modern day lynchings and modern day murders of our people by regular anti-black so-called white supremacists and those anti-black so-called white supremacists who join the police force. Now, LA under Sheriff Villanueva, they actually have matching tattoos with their gangs. They have gangs in LA and they have gangs in New York. They have matching tattoo. When you're initiated, and you know how they're initiated, they initiate them by, so one of them going, either they beat somebody to a damn pulp or they murder somebody, and that's how they get in. They go in, they get their tattoo, and that's what make them official. But they want us to comply and respect anything, any command that the police demand of us. We're supposed to just shut up and do it. Grown men, I seen a video where police pulled guns out in, I think it was Grand Rapids, Michigan. They pulled guns out on children. A brother got involved, came out on the porch and asked him what's going on. He told him to get back in the house. And he got back in the house when those cops had guns on children. He was supposed to disobey that and get between those children and those guns. That's what a man would do. A man would stand in front of that gun. You're not going to shoot those children in front of me. These were 12, 13, and 14-year-old children just walking down the streets, and they held them at gunpoint. And they're not afraid to do this because they're not afraid of no damn consequence. And our so-called leaders, they don't stand up and they don't say nothing. They don't do nothing because they are paid to misrepresent us and not represent us. And then they want us to respect them. And they do what they do or the lack of thereof because there's no consequence. Nobody's stepping to them. We have to force their hands to do something when it comes to our people. We got to force their hands.
Yes, sir. Hey, let me shout out the chat real quick, man.
Indeed.
More people than came in. Shout out my brother Kenneth Powell. Shout out Jaguar.
Peace.
Got smoke signals in the house.
Peace, smoke signal.
The Bomb Mom. Deep Lockett. Key Norfolk. Myself. The Goddess Energy. Yes, sir. The Taz Show.
Peace to the Taz Show.
See if anybody else. Myself, my brother Key. Delaney Black. Shout out to the brother Delaney Black. Ripple Man. I see you, Ripple Man. Think that's
Peace.
about it. Shout out to everybody, man.
Shout out to everybody. Peace to everybody. Thanks for coming through. I want to play this selection called Nothing. Key Norfolk, you got something to say, brother? You got something to add, brother? Please do if you do.
Oh, great bill, man. Super fire topic. You know, one thing I want to point out with you going back in police history, one thing I see them being consistent with is the posterizing of the lynching of our people, whether it be drugged by a car, hanging by a tree, beat to death, shot. I see a consistency from beginning to end. So, hey, man, that's great bill and real great research going back too, looking that up.
Indeed, I appreciate it, brother. I'm going to play this selection now called...
And shout out to 45 Black. Go ahead, my brother.
Called Nothing.
When you look at me, what do you see? The answer is nothing. I have no feelings about you one way or the other. You're like lint or a bottle cap. You're just a thing to remove.
I like the trying to fuck with these shoulders. Thank the Lord they don't know me. We from public house, we turn the shit to 3,000. You can say we hood, fit it under my hood. We just minding our business. Comma stopping and frisking. Young, black, and ambitious. So I guess that's acting suspicious. Demonize my culture, criminalize my kid. Jesus Jones done told you they hating on my skin. Hit the AM PM, cop gas 3 black miles. Crack the front up on me, telling me to turn my shit down now. I roll my windows back up, turn the music back up. Cause we ain't bothering nobody. These crackers fucking with us. This asshole gon' lose it if I keep playing my music. We just some high school students, and this the way we do it. We ain't fucking with you and don't know why the fuck is you shooting. Stand your ground and sound confusing when you the one that's pursuing. These 3 degrees ain't nothing. PhDs mean negative. Just let it run. Just for the price they take your life. It's nothing. I just act like this nothing. Just take it like it's nothing. It's the way fuck with your black. They take your life. It's nothing.
Police say their 17-year-old son was shot to death after an argument over loud music.
Try to compromise the cigarette loads. Put a couple of shots on my halo. Couple of blocks, another day go. Cops stop to get his hate on. I'm black and that's what they hate on. In fact, the cracker ain't take long to shoot to kill, and I'm unarmed. Setting fear for life, I got a gun on. I fast and pray to when I'm gone. My daddy spends his life in filling morgues with cops galore. His daughter's sons, his wife. No civil suits, no protests, no hollow speech from the protest. Just hollow poison, broken choices. My black life is worth no less. These 3 degrees ain't nobody. These PhDs need managed. If I find children from that rights, they take the life. Just be a cop, they take the life. Don't matter. Just black life. The same way they see the gangster fight. Don't give a rights. They take your life. Get up.
Everybody want me to be calm, but you know how them boys in my son. When they get in quiet, they get in
I ain't no gangster. Never been no thug, never did no weed, never sold no drugs.
I got you.
My grade point average, I mean my GPA, done jumped 4.0, but I was good at 3.8. So why these craps be hating? They quick to say that I'm banging. They criminalize my friends so they can shoot claims off the fence. They shooting me with impunity, but they soon to see what they did. He was only 12, just a kid. She never reached the 8th year. He was at a Walmart when I got the call saying for my life I'm in fear. They can take my life when they scared, so they pretend to be scared. Being black black, it ain't safe here. You can ignore facts and be clear. I'm just being sincere. This here is where the sense is. I just want to go home. Please leave me the fuck alone. 6 counts illegal chokeholds. Cell phones capture videos. Now I can't breathe and I'm gone. Police corruption exposed. Still no child and I'm 6 feet down on a sea spray over my soul. These 3 degrees ain't nothing. These shit must see nothing. It's for the right rob, take the joint, it's nothing. 70-year-old walking with a cane. Just take it from the child. It don't matter. Fuck black, white, they see you like nothing. Please tell me why you coming to my house like that. Tell me why you came to my house like that. You killed my baby, I'm nothing. That's what I am. I don't know nothing. I don't have nothing. I'm nothing.
Now that all those stories on that song was true. It started off with the story about when I just told that story about the white guy, Michael Dunn, who shot the young brother just for not turning his music down. 3 teenagers sitting in the SUV. He pulled up. His girl went inside the convenience store to buy something, and while she was inside, when they refused to turn their music down, he shot through the window and murdered one of them. But the last story was about 7-year-old Aiyana Jones, when Officer Weekly of the Detroit Police Department, they were filming an episode of the First 48, and they were looking for a murderer, and they went into the wrong house and shot and killed 7-year-old Aiyana Jones as she slept on her grandmother's bed. And the last thing you heard was the grandmother asking him, why did they come in her house like that? And they murdered her granddaughter. And he wouldn't even look. If you saw the footage, when we do part 2, Brother Big Dog, I'm going to get that footage and see how this devil treated that elder. He wouldn't even look in her face. And what's bad about it, it was a black female judge that let that cop off the hook. They was going to burn him, but she got in between. That's another thing we got to deal with. We got to deal with mammies in these courts, like Tammy Kemp. She's supposed to be a judge, supposed to be harsh on a murderer. Harsh. Not hugging a murderer and then the bailiff brushing her hair when she murdered a brother in his own goddamn apartment. Sitting there, damn near naked, eating ice cream, and she comes in his apartment and shoot him and then say she thought she was at her apartment. You know it's not your apartment when you walk in. You don't see your damn furniture. You know that's not your apartment. The first thing I do when I come home, I turn the light on. Who goes in their house and walk through the house in the darkness? You don't see your furniture. You don't see your television. You don't see anything that you bought in your house, the pictures of your family in your house. You know that's not your damn house. That's one thing that is actually I'm passionate about. We have to do something about the murders of our people. And when people mistreat our people, we can't sit idly by and just take that. We can't. We gotta affect change. And if you're a scared Negro, just stay away from me. Don't even come around me. Because when it's time to get busy, I don't want to hear no talk because the instructions gonna be given already. Just tell me which way you're going, and I'll tell you which way I'm going. We'll meet on the other side after we take care of our business. But I'm not saying go out and be a criminal. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with defending yourself and defending your family when somebody aggress you violently. How it looked like I've been a martial artist all my damn life. I've been a black belt over 30 years. how would it look like I'm letting somebody beat me up because he got a job? Knowing I could just do what I want to him if I want to, but I'm gonna allow him to do that because that's his job. He think that's his job, keeping me down and my people down. Are we insane? Or we just scared to death Negroes? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. We've been doing this far too long, expecting a benevolent white person or benevolent Negro to affect change for us.
And that's what I was going to say, my brother. They putting our people in their chief's position, and our people still justifying it because basically, you know, they covering each other's back. You know, most of these big cities got black police commissioners now.
That's the trick, big dog, to put a black face on white supremacy so they can say it's not racism because a black person's running it.
Big fact.
That's the trick.
That's why I brought it up, brother. Big
That's
fact.
the trick. Eric Adams over there in New York. And if you look, I'm doing the research now. All the black superintendents of prisons in each state, most of them are black. Most of them. And all this is being done on their watch. You got black police chiefs, female black police chiefs, and young black men who could potentially be their sons are being murdered and they don't even step to it. The sister in Baltimore, I think her name was Marilyn Mosby, she stood up and said, I heard you cry. I heard what you were saying to her people as a state attorney. And then now they're trying to bring her down because she really want to do the job for our people after they murdered Freddie Gray in Baltimore. When our people stand for us, we gotta support them and protect them. We can't let them be afraid for their life. Like our brother Olu Stevens, who sent Kenneth Walker home after he shot the cops over in Kentucky for murdering Breonna Taylor. They were breaking into people's house, the brother and the sister house, and he shot one of them. They arrested him for shooting the cop. But Judge Olu Stevens said, no, you broke into that man's house. He had a right to shoot you. This is an open carry state. When our people stand for us, we gotta protect them and be there for them. Let them know we got them. Just do your job. Can't have them afraid to do their job. They're not gonna do it. And it's the same with black cops. You gotta let them know, look, man, you're a black cop. If you sell us out, man, you gotta go. You can't stay. You can't live here. And oftentimes, that's why they move out of the city they work in. Because they want to do as much dirt in the city they work in and go somewhere else and live. They don't gotta face us. And nobody should be policing us who don't live here. There's no genuine concern when somebody don't live here, especially if they never lived here. They don't care about nobody in the city that they never lived in. You're not going to make me believe that. You're not going to make me believe that somebody who just moved here have a genuine concern for the people in that city. They're going to come here. Oftentimes, they don't even like the people. And they want to go back and tell their friends where they live at, the heads that they busted. It's a police chief. Again, brother, I'm going to do some more research, big dog. When we do part 2 on the other channel, we're going to, I'm going to have some more information for you.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of these police departments, they shift people around. Like Brother Kenneth Powell said, Detroit former police chief is running for governor. And the New Orleans Police Department captain moved to Baltimore. The chief of Dallas is now in Chicago.
And like you said, Philadelphia got a young black police commissioner. I forget where she went from, but they moved her from somewhere, and now she in Philadelphia.
That's what they do. They move them around, and they make them offers, and a lot of times that when they receive these jobs, they think that they have risen above the condition of their people. They think that because they got a position, they think that they're really risen above the condition of their people. I'm not one of them. That's their sentiment. And even if they want us, sometimes we can't trust them. Own family members you can't trust. Even though I got a cousin, and when he was on the force, he hear one of our names on the radio, he come scoop us and take us away. He's no longer with them, but when he was on the force, he'll hear one of our names on the radio, he'll come to the scene. Now, somebody like that, we definitely can use. But the Blue Klux Klan, they are very prevalent today. And that mindset, we have to actually murder. Now I'm going to play now the 2006 FBI hate group infiltration of law enforcement. This is still the Blue Klux Klan, body of work by Wise Intelligent, former frontman for Poor Righteous Teachers, the homie from Trenton, New Jersey. After the damn commercial.
In October of 2006, the FBI put out a very strong warning with significant proof of white supremacist infiltration of law enforcement throughout the United States. This was represented as a serious national threat. It appears the deaths of non-whites at the hands of police is on the rise, and very few analysis of the situation is directly linked back to the FBI's direct warning. Why has this been forgotten? Why is it not being covered? Why is it being ignored? In near prophetic fashion, after the FBI's warning, white nationalist extremism in the U.S. increased exponentially. From 2008 to 2014, the number of white supremacist groups reportedly grew from 149 to nearly 1,000, with no apparent abatement in their infiltration of law enforcement. This year alone, at least 7 San Francisco law enforcement officers were suspended after an investigation revealed they exchanged numerous white power communications laden with remarks about lynching African Americans and burning crosses. 3 reputed Klan members that served as correction officers were arrested for conspiring to murder a black inmate. At least 4 Fort Lauderdale police officers were fired after an investigation found that the officers fantasized about killing black suspects. The report goes on to say that white nationalist domestic terror groups are not publicly tracked despite being linked to violent crime and the serious threat they pose. This reality must not be forgotten, and we should raise it as much as we can.
Who gives a fuck about the police? Who gives a fuck about the...
I don't, but I'm going to show this video clip now. This police officer was just found guilty of assaulting a brother and violating his civil rights. I believe it was Thursday or Friday in Dayton, Ohio. I'm going to show this clip.
After 5 days, the trial of Euclid police officer Michael Amiot is over. The jury reached a verdict this evening centered around video that went viral after a traffic stop 5 years ago. News 5's Tracy Carlos has more on the verdict and reaction from both sides.
8 jurors deliberated inside Euclid Municipal Court today for about 4 hours before deciding the fate of Euclid police officer Michael Amiot.
Case number 19CRB-000890. Verdict.
Amiot faced 3 misdemeanor charges, 2 counts of assault, and 1 count of interfering with civil rights.
We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn, do hereby find the defendant Michael Amiot guilty of assault, a misdemeanor of the first degree.
That jury found him guilty of one count of assault and interfering with civil rights. The jury found him not guilty on the other assault charge. Almost 5 years ago, Amiot stopped Richard Hubbard for a traffic violation. Cell phone video that made national headlines captured what happened next. Amiot testified during the trial that Hubbard resisted arrest and felt that he was reaching for his gun belt. Hubbard said he was stopped because of race and that he did not fight back during the arrest.
I think that as a result of the very bold verdict from the jury, the efforts from members of the community, justice was served today.
Community activist Dr. Richard Montgomery says this case went to court because of the actions of some in the Euclid community.
This started as a petition from citizens in the city of Euclid. Many people don't know about Ohio Revised Law 2935.09.10. If you have knowledge of a crime in the state of Ohio, you can petition a judge giving them your evidence for them to do an investigation or to order an arrest.
Euclid Police Chief Scott Meyer issued a statement about the ruling, saying in part, "I believe it is important that the process was allowed to reach its ultimate conclusion in the court of law and not the court of public opinion. It is my hope that this decision can start to bring closure to all of the parties affected." The Fraternal Order of Police also issued a statement. Dave Trent, president of the Euclid Lodge, said, "We are disappointed in the jury's guilty verdict. We remain confident that Officer Amiot's actions were reasonable given the circumstances, and we continue to stand by him." Amiot will be sentenced at a later date. Hubbard filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city. Euclid settled with him for $450,000 last year. In Euclid, Tracy Carlos, News 5.
Now, after all we just seen, them having the brother down on the ground, punching him repeatedly in the face, the police department said they stand by him. No matter how bad they make the police department look, they still stand by them. But we're supposed to trust them when they're on the street telling us, you can trust me. They tell us this. Well, we're supposed to trust them after we see that and they stand by that.
They got so many inconsistencies with they title, with protecting and serving. I see a lot of racial injustice with especially people of our color and certain persons, but predominantly with people, with our people, and certain persons who take upon, the objective lifestyle or personality, should I say. But I think our people are most definitely the main target, and they justify it with the fear, like you say, with the fear. They say they fear for their life. So with that being said, do you feel like it's more of a scare technique with them, posterizing these murders and lynchings and things like that, to kind of buck us, to keep us scared?
Let me answer that real quick. Most law enforcement are previous military, so they go through vigorous training. That's just an excuse they make to kill us. They are trained. They are trained in the military before they even. 80% of law enforcement is prior military. That's how they're able to get the job so easy. And they're trained in the military to be, like I said, they train in the military to have some rapport. But when they get out in these streets, it's open season. So that's why I'm saying that's just a lie that they push to the people. They ain't scared because they well trained before they get that job at the police, but from the military. And then once they get that training, that they get in their academy. So that's just a lie that they make up so they can keep doing what they're doing. They ain't fearing for their life. But that's all I want to say. You got it, brother.
That's the truth, brother. Now, malicious acts do not come from fear. They don't come from fear. Malicious acts come from hate. The police, they escalate situations, and when things get, as they say, out of hand, they use deadly force, and then they say they were afraid for their life after they use deadly force. There's no way. Now, if you're afraid of somebody, you don't come within hand's reach of them, or you don't aggress them violently. If you're afraid of them, you have all the weapons around your waist. You got a taser. Sometimes they have a PR-24. Sometimes they have a slapstick. They have a gun. And they got level 3A vests.
Hey, if they scared, they should have been a secretary.
Exactly.
A secretary is a field that you don't have to fear for. You know what I mean? That's better.
Or working child care or something. If you're afraid. Now, I showed this video before, and we need to understand. That's why I repeatedly show this video, so we can understand that our elders, our women, and our children are used as soft targets, and they don't care because there's no consequence that we make them pay for when they do these acts against our children, and particularly our children.
Officer Eric Casebolt arrives with a barrel roll, called to restore calm at a pool party, but he ramps up the tension instead.
Whoa, sir, get on the ground. Hold up, sir. I told you to stay. Your ass is down on the ground.
Teenagers beg for reason.
Sir, we just got here. Sir, we just came for a birthday party, please.
But the police corporal, a 10-year veteran of the force in this Dallas suburb, will not be calmed.
You are leaving now. Leave.
Even after 14-year-old Dejeria Becton does as she is told and walks away, Corporal Casebolt grabs her. When friends run to help, the officer pulls his gun.
And he was just aggressive for no reason at all. It was horrible.
He returns to Dejeria, forcing her to the ground as she calls for her mother. Officer Casebolt kneels on the 14-year-old's back. Until later, other officers return and handcuff her. The mobile phone footage shot by another 15-year-old has been viewed nearly 4 million times. The officer is now on administrative leave.
It's something we're going to have to look into to determine,
Now, he was fired. That guy was fired. But look how there was a 14-year-old girl. He didn't have to handle her like that.
And just because he fired, that means he got fired from the police department. He can go to another city or another thing and still get a job as a police.
Exactly.
And that's the sad part about it.
If they don't take his license, his law enforcement license, he can go anywhere in this country and be a cop. If they will have him, he can become a cop. Oftentimes, that's what they do. Now, the cop that killed Mike Brown, he was transferred 3-4 times. And the cop who killed Tamir Rice was transferred 3-4 times. They let these guys transfer 3 or 4 times until they end up murdering somebody. They jumped out the vehicle within seconds, murdering Tamir Rice, and dispatch told him that it was a toy gun. Again, our children, they're soft targets, and they are made to be referred to as adults. They'll call a 16-year-old black boy a man, but they'll call a 21-year-old black boy kid, making them innocent, making our children guilty. That's what they do. But awareness shows you how to move in this wilderness, because this is a wilderness. And we have to tell our people so they can know how to move around in this world. And we have to form, those of us who gotta keep our nose clean. If you're able to purchase a firearm, purchase a firearm. You're a fool if you don't. You are a fool if you don't. You're a fool if you don't have it anyway. Even if you have a criminal record, you're still a fool if you don't have a gun. Somebody break in your house.
Big facts.
Somebody come in your house doing a home invasion. They can have their way in your home because they got a gun and you don't. Guns are dangerous in the hands of the person who's pointing at you. That's when guns are dangerous. In the other person's hand, that's when it's dangerous to me. It's cool when I got it, because I'm responsible and I'm not just going to brandish it or be out here packing guns for nothing. But when somebody breaking into your house, you have the right to defend yourself and your damn family. And that's a right somebody cannot give you or take away from you. You don't ask for that right. It's not a right somebody got to give to you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Every man deserves the right to have his life in his own, be able to defend himself. Without a gun, you don't have your life in your own hands. That's like a natural right there. I agree with you 100%.
The person who's pointing the gun at you have your life in their hand when that's the situation. Unless you're up on him and you fast enough. Because if I know for certain, I'm not gonna say I believe, I know if I hit you before you pull it out, it's done. It's finished. It's gonna be embarrassing. But that's a chance you take. You should have yours and make that person retreat. If that person retreats, let them go. They retreated. They know not to come here no more because it's fire here. We'll play this next selection. It's called 999. You know what 999 is. It's flipped upside down.
Ever wonder what Lidl's fresh summer produce?
Again, after the damn commercial. Peace to Real Lamar.
When 999 gets called in, all units in the area convert them down, officer. It's open season. 999 piece of my block, 999 cops. 1 kilos is like as he keeps on me rest house. 998 piece of my block, 998 piece of my block, 998 cops. 1 person at home make your eye on a jump, so we murdered that pig on the spot. 999 and 7 more cops still terrorizing my block. And 1 pig with their top and not sitting there.
It's luminous. 999, that's a beat down. Victim of the 6 side. This is how ghetto people breathing. Eye for an eye, life for a life. No, it don't make it right, but we even. Broad daylight, I'm just reading. Cop wanna stop, no reason. Just waiting for my son when a big yellow gun now laying on the blacktop bleeding. No help, no medical attention. No gun plant, one no stitch. When the blue Klux Klan, I got the black man, it escalate to a public lynch. That's the goddamn intention. If I live and get slammed in prison, when all I did was wait for my kid, but the pig said I fit the description.
996 people on my block, 996 cops. Let one piece of the story, he went to man, throw it out, and that's what my cops. 995 people on my block, 990 cops. One explorer, no further to say, when he booked the sheet, read it, he chose suicide. Now it's 994 people on my block, I mean 994 cops. What was feeling like I say, we get all of my baby, no receipt till he got shot. 993 people on my block, 993 cops. One black folks sit down, he put 36 rappers, white cops, and nobody to the cop. Now it's 992 cops on my block, 992 thugs. 100 robust and controlled deadly substances, on steroids and all types of drugs. 892 kids still alive, 892 swine. They coming in, go to the store, and our hustlers for books that they do all the time.
999, another cop shot. Think it was the same cop. Name got mentioned back in Trenton 7 years ago when he tampered with a witness of a shooting, but the union moved to stop the prosecution. Pig no pin, and right back on the AV. Still we're using racists out, tasting people babies. System says justified and black people crazy. Coroner said homicide, but who's investigating? This is called a genocide, it's not a masquerading. Before somebody snap up with this pig in a blanket. Ask for my license, shoot and say I'm reaching. Demand some respect, I'm resisting. Kid hit the pig with the 5.56. Shoot out with the swine, still taking a live. 999, call an ambulance. Pig might have stood a chance if he wasn't such a fucking racist.
999 cops to go, but when it's a pain in the chest. When we got on the ground, it's upside down, they flip the 666.
Worry about the night.
All of these songs are based on true stories, actual events. And this is a body of work that, you know, it's a good body of work. And it's real. It's hard to put words to it. The word I will put to it is very relevant and pertinent information that we could actually apply to our everyday lives when we're out here. Because you don't have to be a criminal to fall a victim to the police. I've seen it. Now, I had a friend who served in the military, survived Iraq, survived Afghanistan, survived Syria, came back to the United States and was murdered by the cops. He survived all that, but was murdered when he got back to the United States by the police. And he wasn't a criminal. I have several friends who wasn't criminals who were murdered by the police, shot in the back by the police. Good brothers murdered by the police. Young brothers murdered by the police. And we need to keep our people aware of this. Brother Key, Big Dog, have anything to add?
Oh, yes, sir. Salutes, man. Great build. You know, I want to say, you know, to our people, we definitely got to be more knowledgeable and attentive and defensive when it comes to our people. You know, whether that's right when that crime happening, be it being attentive or being protective, or, you know, whenever it comes to any type of police involvement, court situation, anything like that, we got to show that we're going to stand for each other and our people. Like I said, great build today. I salute you, my brother. Much love and respect.
I appreciate it. And also, family, when you're traveling, if you don't have a dash cam, get yourself something that you can put your phone in and record your trip. Record your trip. And if you have people who are around you, like in your proximity, and if you see your brother is pulled over, Go there. You see your sister is pulled over, go there. Let them know that it's not going to be like that. Because you have a right for self-defense. And the first law of nature is self-preservation. Not his preservation, your preservation. Not anyone outside of yourself. That's the first law of nature. Self-preservation. That means, like, if you're in an open carry state and the police are breaking the law and you know they're doing something unlawful, those jokers like the ones who shot the brother right in front of his sons, there was an open carry state, and it made me so mad because when they pulled those guns out, it was not a gun type situation. If they see everybody around you, them carrying guns, they got to be fools to pull theirs out. You got to mean it, though. I'm not saying be a criminal, but nobody's going to take my life. They're going to have to take it because I'm not giving it to them. We give our lives away. Why? Because we don't think they'll do it to us. If Eric Garner thought like me, he'd have broke Daniel Panatelio, whatever his name is, he'd have broke him in half. Because the minute he jumped on my back, I would have gave him a corner of one of those walls. As big as he was, all he had to do is back up against the wall with him on his back. He would slid down that wall. You don't just let somebody just take your damn life. This man died over some damn cigarettes or whatever. They say he was breaking up a fight, but they tried to arrest him over some cigarettes, and he choked the man out over that. With a black female sergeant present. And she didn't do anything to intervene. We got to start holding them accountable too. You stand there and you watch that, ostracize her. Certain other things have to happen too that I won't discuss on this platform. But something needs to happen. When somebody sell a whole nation of people out, something needs to happen. We can't continue to allow our people to just die. And all we do is have funerals, we cry, we tear up stuff, and then we chill until the next episode.
Tonight, the California Highway Patrol is investigating whether an officer crossed the line when he repeatedly punched a woman during an arrest in Los Angeles. The altercation was captured on tape, and Terry Okita has the story.
It happened during Tuesday evening's rush hour. Drivers traveling along one of LA's busiest freeways could see the highway patrol officer follow an unidentified woman across the on-ramp. He then threw her to the ground and repeatedly punched her as she tried to block his blows. David Diaz recorded the incident on his cell phone camera.
So take me back to that moment when you saw them on the ground.
Got you. So when they're on the ground, he was basically on top of her in full control. And he basically really did some power punches to her head.
The CHP officer's incident report says the barefoot woman ignored commands to stop wandering near the freeway. So, for her safety, he tried to arrest her. The pedestrian then becomes physically combative, the report says. A physical altercation ensued as the pedestrian continued to resist arrest, at which point a plainclothes off-duty officer assisted in applying the handcuffs. Diaz says he heard the officer yell freeze, but didn't see her resisting arrest or holding a weapon. He believes she may have been intoxicated or unstable.
This was one, two. If you're trying to protect her, then what's this beating in the head for?
Chris O'Quinn, chief of the CHP Southern Division, discussed the incident this afternoon.
I don't even want to hear what he has to say, because if that was done for her safety, that was done for her safety. Thrown to the ground, and the female was homeless too. She was homeless. And he threw her to the ground on the highway to protect her for her safety. And she got 8-9 blows to the head for her damn safety. And that's why I say our women, our children, and our elders are soft targets. They go after them. And in my sentiment, it's like I think they're trying to get us to engage. The men of fighting age and fighting shape, I think they're trying to get us to engage. Because a lot of them are racist when they get on the force and they want to exercise some power over people, and particularly us. Because you see how fast things escalate. Now you can see how when we talk bad, back to them, or we start quoting the law, they don't give us the respect that they give the white boys who do that. You have white boys that start quoting the law and they'll back up. They start giving them codes and they'll back up. And they'll leave them alone. But us, they get absolutely upset, highly upset, when we start quoting the law. And they don't like when we start telling them that we have rights. That's one of the things they really don't like when we say we have rights. In closing, I just want to thank everybody for coming through. Big Dog, Philly OG, Key Norfolk, do you have any closing remarks before we end the stream?
Once again, powerful stream, my brother. Oh yeah, you got it, OG. I just want to say powerful stream, man. I appreciate you for having me, man. I'm looking forward for part 2 for sure.
Indeed. I appreciate you for coming through, brother. Always, brother. This is, your second home. So whenever you see me going live, just know that you're welcome to come through, brother. Just know that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Likewise.
Yeah, much love, much respect to everybody. My brother Key, my brother the ME Public. Appreciate you letting me on. Much love to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we're going to do a part 2 to this before the end of the week. You know what I mean? And we're going to keep bringing this information to the people.
Indeed.
And much respect to everybody. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you, brother.
Thank y'all for coming. Thank the brothers and the sisters for joining me in the chat. You were very attentive, and I appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you when we do part 2. We're going to keep this up. We're going to keep getting this information because we know the Klux Klan, they're out there and they're looking for victims. And please do not be one of their victims. Don't do that. And Big Dog, before you go, that brother that was on your platform, can you contact him?
Talk about the brother that did the last interview.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, and Key, I want you to be a part of that when we do it too.
Okay, for sure.
Public.
For sure, most definitely. I got some. I'm gonna shoot y'all an email.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can get in contact with him, brother.
Indeed. I say peace to all the family. I appreciate you coming through. Peace, love, and power, and strength. And wherever you go, brother, when you're walking in the wilderness of North America, remain vigilant. Check your surroundings. Please try to go out with somebody when you go out. And above all, I urge us all, brothers and sisters, to think. Peace.